7 biblical women who overcame hardships and found strength. Life's hardships can feel heavy. In those moments of grief, fear, and uncertainty, we may wonder, can I find the strength to keep going? Is God still with me? Throughout Scripture, we find powerful stories of women who faced painful trials but discovered God's faithfulness in the middle of their storms. Today, we'll reflect on 7 biblical women who overcame deep hardships and found strength and hope through their faith. As you listen, may these stories remind you, no matter what you're facing, God's strength is available to you too. Let's begin. Hannah's heart was heavy. She longed for a child, but year after year, her womb remained closed. In ancient Israel, barrenness was a source of deep shame. To make matters worse, Hannah's rival, Peninnah, mocked her relentlessly, causing her heart to ache even more. Yet, in the midst of her pain, Hannah didn't give up. She brought her sorrow to the Lord in prayer. 1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 10 says, "In her deep anguish, Hannah prayed to the Lord, weeping bitterly. In the temple she poured out her soul, promising that if God gave her a son, she would dedicate him back to the Lord. And God heard her cry. He blessed her with Samuel, who became a prophet and leader in Israel." Hannah's story shows us that no pain is too deep for God. When we bring our sorrows to Him, He listens. His timing may not always align with ours, but He is faithful. Psalm 30 verse 5 says, "Weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning." Ruth's story begins with grief and loss. After the death of her husband, Ruth faced a heartbreaking decision: return to her homeland or follow her mother-in-law, Naomi, into an uncertain future. Despite her pain, Ruth chose loyalty. She refused to leave Naomi's side, stepping into a future where she knew no one and had nothing. Ruth 1-16 says, "Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God my God." Ruth's faith and courage led her to Boaz, a kind and godly man who became her kinsman redeemer. Through their union, Ruth became part of the lineage of Jesus Christ, a powerful reminder that God redeems even the most broken stories. Reflection. Ruth's journey reveals that God never abandons us, even when life feels hopeless. His plans are always bigger than our present pain. Isaiah 43:19 says, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it?" But Esther's life seemed ordinary until she was chosen to become Queen of Persia. But her position wasn't just for her own benefit. God had a greater purpose. When an evil official named Haman plotted to destroy the Jewish people, Esther faced a terrifying choice: remain silent and stay safe, or risk her life by speaking to the king to save her people. Despite her fear, Esther fasted, prayed, and boldly approached the king, knowing her actions could cost her life. Esther chapter 4, verse 14 says, "Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" Her courage saved her people and changed the course of history. Reflection. Esther's story reminds us that God places us where we are for a reason. You too are positioned with purpose, and He gives you the strength to fulfill it. 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7 says, "For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline." Mary Magdalene's life was once filled with brokenness. The Bible tells us she was delivered from 7 demons, a symbol of the deep spiritual bondage she endured. But when she encountered Jesus, everything changed. She became one of His closest followers, devoted and unshakable. Luke chapter 8 verse 2 says, "Mary called Magdalene, from whom 7 demons had come out." After Jesus' death, while others hid in fear, Mary stayed close, and because of her faithfulness, she was the first to witness the risen Christ. Reflection. Mary's life reminds us that no one is beyond the reach of God's grace. He calls us by name, offering healing and restoration. Isaiah 61 verse 1 says, "He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives." Deborah was a prophetess, judge, and military leader, a rare and powerful combination in her time. When Israel faced oppression, Deborah led with wisdom and strength. Judges chapter 4 verse 14 says, "Go, this is the day the Lord has given Sisera into your hands. Has not the Lord gone ahead of you?" Through her leadership, God gave Israel victory, a testament that He equips those He calls. Reflection. Deborah's life reminds us that God empowers us to lead courageously, no matter how impossible the battle seems. Philippians chapter 4 verse 13 says, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." For 12 years, this woman suffered from an illness that left her physically weak and socially isolated. But when she heard about Jesus, she refused to give up. Mark chapter 5 verse 28 says, "If I just touch His clothes, I will be healed." Her faith moved Jesus, and immediately she was made whole. Reflection. Her story teaches us that faith, even in weakness, moves the heart of God. Jeremiah chapter 30 verse 17 says, "I will restore you to health and heal your wounds. Remember, you are not alone. God is with you, even in the deepest valleys."